Well, tonight I'm probably going to raise some hackles. And the reason why is because, look, I've trained so many MBAs to date. I'd have to say at least 15 to 16 MBAs come to mind that I've trained. And you know what? Without exception, each and every one of them have been missing some critical skill sets that I really had no option but to address tonight. And so, with much ado, and I guess a bit of trepidation, I'm going to talk about MBAs and how they're serving you. So how many of you out there have actually gone to university? How many of you out there have invested your hard-earned dollars to get that wonderful piece of paper with those qualifications on there? Well, I want to just speak to you about the MBA. And I can say this with a lot of authority, ladies and gentlemen. And the reason why, so I am slightly distracted here because my technology is doing some weird things. But the reason I can speak with authority about the MBA and its pluses and its minuses is I've met so many of you individuals and I feel I just have a personal connection with each of you. So let me speak to the topic tonight and let me prove my point. And that is what your MBA degree forgot to teach you and what you can do about it. So look, bottom line is that as all of you well know, I spend a lot of my time helping other people develop skills, and I teach many individuals how to become business consultants. But you know, I just finished a recent training the other day, and there were actually 2 MBAs in that room, and so actually that brings me up to 18 MBAs now that I've trained. And so there were 2 more MBAs in that room, and again, without exception, they missed 2 key critical skill sets that, in my opinion, are a must for anyone that is studying being successful in business. So here's the thing. I want to tell you a little bit of a story, and it's quite interesting. Now remember, it is a story, and it's Richard Branson, and he walks into a room full of Harvard MBA students, and he's asking the question, how do you create a successful business? Well, you know, obviously Harvard MBA, everybody knows everything, and so they're coming up with all these weird and wonderful answers, and some are saying, well, how about have a lot of money behind you, or how about build a fantastic team, or create a fantastic product? And again, look, all of those ideas have a lot of validity, okay? So I'm not knocking them. However, creating a successful company, only a successful entrepreneur would know this answer. And that is, in all honesty, it's creating happy, repeat customers and keeping them for life. That's what it's about. Now, how do you make them happy? Well, obviously, you've got to keep your promises to them, okay? So I want to say that up front, and I also want to state that Richard Branson, it is a story that I'm sharing with you, and it's a very, very valid story. So the way to have a successful business is to create happy, repeat customers and keep them for life, okay? But they then said, well, how do you do that? And that's a very good question. And the answer, ladies and gentlemen, and the key lesson from today is you must become a master of sales and marketing, because without it, you are going to run the risk of some very, very sad experiences happen in your life. So what happens in imagine you've built this great team. Imagine you've got all this venture capital behind you. Imagine that you've developed this fantastic product that you know is better than anything else on the marketplace, but you don't make any sales. What is going to happen to your business? Well, I've got to tell you, it ain't pretty, ladies and gentlemen, because without sales, without you generating those dollars, nothing else matters. It doesn't matter that you got the best product. And again, those of you that are young enough to remember, beta versus VHS. You know, those little funny rectangular things. A lot of them used to be in this really, really big business at one time called Blockbuster. You know, VCRs. How many of you remember those things? Put them in the comments and give your feedback. Tell me how you felt with your degree and how it's helped you, or if something's been missing in your degree. But look, VCRs, the VHS and the Beta was a lay down misere that Beta was the better product. Okay, in all facets, it was a far superior product, and yet VHS won the war. Why? Because they simply marketed it better. Now, you've got to have a good product, ladies and gentlemen, and you've got to deliver on your product. Remember, I said you've got to have happy customers. The only way you're going to have happy customers is if you actually deliver and even over-deliver on your promise. But for that to occur, you've actually got to make the sale in the first place. So, think about it. After 5 years and $45,000 to $100,000 getting your MBA and your Masters, what does it help you do? Well, it'll help you get a green card. In fact, another MBA that I was training today said, well, you know, it did help me get citizenship here in Australia. So that's a big plus because you've got a piece of paper. Yes, I'm qualified. Okay, I'm qualified. It can help you get a good corporate job, of course, as well, and that's very valid as well. And again, because I'm not being negative on MBAs, but I really need to point out that gaping hole in the education process. It can help you get a promotion, you know. So how do you get up that corporate ladder? Well, how about I get another qualification? I'll get my Masters and keep getting more letters after my name. That can help, okay? But really, in the big scheme of things, I'm going to share a real secret with you in a second. In the big scheme of things, they're letters after the name. It's what you do with the knowledge that's important. It can help you build a great relationship, you know. And again, relationships can help you get ahead, okay? Making those right connections. And when you go to the right university and meet the right people, I know there is no doubt. In fact, I want to tell you another story. It's a friend of mine, a gentleman called John Thomas. Now, he's been a presidential advisor to, I think it was 6 presidents. Amazing guy. He's got a fantastic financial newsletter he puts out called the Mad Hedge Fund. And he's an amazing guy. And I was having dinner with him one night with my wife, and I said, John, how is it that you've become so successful? Is it because you got an IQ off the planet? He says, no. I said, is it because you studied so hard and you're just so smart and you just put that extra effort and you really, really worked hard? He said, no. So what is it? How did you get to have this amazing position in life and get to advise all these presidents and achieve what you've achieved? And he simply said, I built relationships with the right people. So again, ladies and gentlemen, I commend you. If you have an MBA, well done. And there are incredible benefits that you can have from having that knowledge and building those relationships. But I'm going to say to you again, there is a gaping hole in the education of you in your MBA. Okay, so building great relationships, remember that, ladies and gentlemen, tonight. That is a critical skill set, and you want to work out who can help you get where you want to go and start connecting with those people. Now, the other reason is I've heard you guys have fantastic parties at the universities. I've heard the stories, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so look, there's a couple of good reasons to have an MBA. Now, you may not realize it, but I actually have an MBA as well. See, I have a massive bank account, and I think that's pretty cool as well. So, I don't know, a bit of paper with a lot of letters after my name or a massive bank account. You know what I'd love? I'd love a combination of both. And, you know, before the day is done, there's every chance I will get a piece of paper after my name and do an MBA for the fun of it. However, with that being said, remember the purpose of what I'm sharing today, and that is what the MBA forgot to teach you, and that is sales and marketing. How to find a customer, how to keep a customer coming back time and time again. Now, how did I get my MBA? I focused on the skills that made me the money, ladies and gentlemen. I focused on the sales. Look, for you to get customers, you need a sales system, okay? And to get the sales, you need a lead generation system. And to get the leads, you need to have a decent marketing system. These are the things that make the money, all right? And as I teach my advisors and as I train them, I say, look, the things that really give you the income that you're desiring, you should be prospecting, you should be presenting, and you should be consulting. And in all honesty, look, consulting does not really make you the money. Okay? It doesn't. It's just delivering on the promises that you have made to everybody else. But when you focus on the marketing side and the conversion or sales side, that's when you're going to be laughing all the way to the bank, ladies and gentlemen. What are your thoughts on that? Again, let me know. Look, like me, bite me, just don't fight me on this, okay? And yeah, do hit that like button. I want to see them. I want you following me, guys, and I really want to get your feedback on this and how MBA has helped you, or maybe how you felt so frustrated because it didn't give you some of the skill sets you were expecting when you put all that effort into getting that qualification. So, look, imagine if you had the ability to persuade people who did not want to be persuaded. What would that do? What sort of change or impact would that have on your life if you developed that skill to guide somebody in the direction that you wanted them to go? To actually say yes instead of no. Maybe it'll help those guys out there get a date. Wouldn't that be handy? Ladies, maybe you'll actually get your partner to take the rubbish out every now and then. It's an amazing skill to have, and yet one so few people I see possess. And it's a learned skill, okay? A lot of people can develop the ability to sell. I wasn't born with it. And really, it's not selling. What do? When we are in sales, we're just solving problems for people. Isn't that right? Without salespeople, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be a pretty sad world because nothing will get solved. Okay, so we are really a conduit, if you like, from problem to solution. And guess what? This handsome devil in front of you provides that solution. Okay, so again, salespeople really are the highest paid people in the world, and they do deserve it. So what would that one skill, if you possessed it, what impact would that have on your life? Well, I can tell you it'll be pretty big. It's the number one skill that took me from making $50,000 a year to having an income that many people dream of, you know. So how do you develop these skills? Well, focus on becoming a master marketer, okay? Focus on becoming a master persuader. And also, I thought I'd put in here, focus on becoming a master delegator. Because, ladies and gentlemen, one of the other things that hold people back from what they're capable of is you try and do everything yourself, okay? Don't. Stop it. Not anymore, okay? What I want you to understand is focus on what you're good at and delegate the rest. And look, if you absolutely detest sales, if you can't even fathom the idea of picking that telephone up to say, hello, how are you? My name's Ian Marsh. Well, how about you delegate that to someone else that is good at it and you focus on the skill sets that you're good at. But regardless, you must understand that sales and marketing are the critical component that determines the success of a business. Because without that, everything else is irrelevant, ladies and gentlemen. Am I making sense? And I can promise you that once you have these three skills, you become a master marketer, you become a master persuader, and a master delegator, you will be able to write your own paycheck. I hope this is resonating because, look, bottom line is that the people that have transformed their lives by learning these skill sets, that I've helped them learn when they've become business consultants, is quite astounding because it's mechanical again. It's not hard. It just takes a commitment for you to actually want to do it. And this is why people like single mothers and labourers and engineers, can you imagine engineers and accountants? I've turned engineers and accountants into incredible persuaders. Why? Well, simply because I've gotten them to focus on the right things and just master a few skills. And hey, look, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know it, I know many of you do, but if you don't know it, is that the one I'm looking for? This is the one I'm looking for. If you don't know it, I actually help people develop these skills. In fact, you give me 4 days and there's every chance I can start transforming your world because I start teaching you fundamental marketing skills that most people, 95% of people, have no idea of. I teach you how to communicate with people so you can get them to share what their problem is instead of you talking to them all the time. Going, I got this great product and it's the best thing, and you know what, you should buy it because I really need your money. Did I mention it's a great product and I need your money? That's how so many people sell, ladies and gentlemen. But that's not how selling should be. Selling should be you listening to the other party's challenges, understanding what their need is, and if you can provide the ideal solution, bingo, the money's there. Nice and simple. So I teach people how to generate leads, how to convert those leads into clients, and then I teach them how to actually improve a business in a step-by-step mechanical process. And if that sounds like something that you may like to learn, well, look, there'll be a link up above or down below. You'll find somewhere to click in a second after I'm done, and you'll be able to find out more about how I do help these individuals. So I just finished training some people last weekend, and already the changes that are happening in the results they're getting in their communications. One person is a software. He's got a computer for a brain. His name's Steve. He just thinks so linearly, if you like. And he started communicating in a different way with his prospects. And I got off the phone with him, I think it was yesterday. And already the prospects are seeking him out and saying, well, how can you help me with that? How could you help me solve that problem? And this is what happens. It's when you develop the right skills and when you put focused effort into mastering those skills, your whole world will change. Ladies and gentlemen, I kid you not. Okay, for 15 years, I struggled to get ahead. I was making $50,000 a year. But then when I mastered marketing and sales, within 3 years I was a multi-millionaire, had one of the largest air conditioning companies in Australia, and man, I tell you what, I was living an incredible life. That's all I can say. And I want you to do the same. Okay, so understand, focus on the right skills and then delegate everything else, ladies and gentlemen. Again, like me, bite me, just don't fight me. This is the reality of how to succeed in business. And I'd love to see you leave your comments below. Tell me what you think of your degree. How has it helped you or inhibited you? How many of you think, man, I've just thrown away 5 years of my life? Or maybe it was the best decision you ever made. I don't know, but I'd love to hear from you. All right, till next time, ladies and gentlemen, remember, action steps, master marketing, master sales, and master delegation. And if you want to know more, click the link and you can watch a discovery webinar that I put together that shows you how I teach people how to develop these skills. All right, well, with that being said, I'm going to wish all of you a lovely evening and go and hug my wife. I'll see you later, ladies and gentlemen.